Clower is like my favorite comedian. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he was like, he's one of the best selling comedians ever, like of like albums and stuff. But he was like he was like this kind of Southern storyteller. But I love that kind of stuff. But that's him right there.
Yeah, I know that face. Yeah.
So he but yeah, I walked out and I was like, Jesus Christ, who am I anymore? This is what I felt like walking out of your show. Like, are my beliefs intact? I remember even going like this when I walked out. Yeah. What gives you a kick when you're up there? Like, do you find like, is it still the humor that gives you the kick? Is it an uncomfortability? Is it like a control? Do you have any sense of that kind of?
I think it's a lot of things all at once. That's probably why I like it, because there's a shitload of things firing at the same time. You know, it's a lot, but I'm in control of it, and in the ways that I'm not are exciting. It's like sailing in a way. It's like I know how to do all this stuff, but I'm still, you know, the wind's still coming in like, and I'm like, and I'm healing a little, and I'm like, I don't know, guys. But I've also got that veteran kind of. I've seen this. I know how this goes. And the you know, some shows are more fun than others. The night before I shot this last night for a special.
That's right. And that's coming out when?
Like probably February, but I'm doing the Madison Square Garden at the end of this month.
Okay.
On January 20th, and I'm live streaming that show on my website.
And people will be able to buy it there. Buy a ticket.
Yes, they'll be able to buy the show and watch it for like 10 days. Then I'm taking it down. I just want to share that night.
Wow.
Because I used to play the Garden all the time. I haven't been there in years, and I don't want to return to that. I don't want to be an arena comic. I don't like the kind of pro circuit thing anymore. I just want to do stand-up because I love it. But I got back there, and we sold it out. I'm doing it in the round. I'm standing in the center. And so I want to just do it that one night so I can really appreciate it for what it is. Because when I used to do it a lot, it was like I just take the subway and do the Garden. And there's a sadness that I didn't see how great that was. And now I understand how great it was to have that opportunity. So coming back there, I'm calling that special Back to the Garden. And so folks can live stream it, watch it during the show.
Wow.
And then I'll leave it up for like 10 days just to stream. But then it'll come down and go away. What I shot last night it'll be the same material, but that's the special for this year.
And
that's
that'll go on your
album.
website.
That'll go on the website for $10. Yeah. So,
dude, yeah, I would anybody. I think I would maybe watch it again, and that's insane for somebody to say these days to watch anything again.
Yeah.
But because there's so many things, it's like it really is just so many levels of what's going on. You know,
I worked hard on this show, but anyway, so the night before we did 2 nights because when you do a special, so I did Saturday night, and that was fucking cream puff. That was just like being massaged. It just felt so good.
Wow.
Like I just felt like it was easy, and I'm just like, I'm on this one. I'm like a kind of surfer who touches the water wall while he's in there.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like not the guy who's like this, but the guy who's like he's just doing this on the while he's in the tube. You know?
Yeah. Oh,
he's kind of like caressing, just touching the nipple of the ocean. You know, like that's what Saturday night felt like. And everything was just, I didn't have to think about anything. And it was the perfect thing for me is when I'm really feeling the things I'm saying.
100%.
I'm not in my head about how's this show going, what comes next, how do I say this, is the pace good? I'm really thinking like, here's what I feel about Jesus. Like, and I really feel it. And it just was sublime and great. And last night was not as easy. Like, and coming off of that was hard.
That's hard too, because you can't replicate you can't cheat your brain to know that you weren't on that.
No, you can't.
On that high.
You can't. And you have to, I mean, it all comes with experience. So some early times in my life, a great show could ruin a bad show. Because the bad one, I just go, where are you? What happened? But once you know, like to me, it's like the show's going to be as good no matter what. I'm going to get the same outcome every single show. The difference is going to be how do I have to work for it? You know, how hard do I have? So last night it was like, all right, you fucks. And I had to I felt like I had to really try harder. And probably when I edit it, the second show will probably be the better show for watching. Because it's not fun to watch a comedian be like, hey man, this is great. It's not the comfort of a comedian is not funny.
Yeah, it's watching the guy test the water to see if it's cold. It's not as much the guy sitting in the hot tub.
That's right. But the thing, I guess, one of the things I love is going places, because there's some places where you know the laughs are. There's some places we know everybody laughs at.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun to say those things and be good at them and get the laughs that you knew were coming. But I like taking people places where they don't even like to think about it. They don't even like to, let alone talk about it, or let alone hear about it in a show.
No.
But I know what's gonna come. I know it's gonna be okay. So I'm okay with it's. There's great power as a comedian in being okay with uncomfortable feelings, with being okay with that. You just brought something up and they're like, "Fuck," and that it got tight in there, and to know that that tightness is useful, and that there's a place to take that.
Oh.
And then when they start to calm down a little bit, they're like, "I don't even know where I am now. This is a weird." This you see it in their faces, like I've never laughed at this before. And so now I'm in a new place in my mind. That's, I think, a very powerful thing about comedy.
Yeah.
Because it's an opportunity to say stuff that's not appropriate. That's not all of comedy is on some level of saying something you shouldn't have said. It's either you're saying something because it's too private, like it's too you're oversharing,
Mm-hmm.
or which people love. That you're just I'm gonna tell you this fucked up. You do that a lot. Just like I'm gonna tell you something really personal.
Yeah, you need to know it.
So you shouldn't have said that. Because usually in a regular conversation or in politics or whatever, you don't say things like that. The other you shouldn't have said is because it's so stupid. Just a stupid thing. Everybody knows that's not true. What are you saying?
Yeah.
The other one is that's fucking crazy. That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. These are all different kinds of humor, but they're all based in saying something you shouldn't have said. And then the other one is like, man, that's not cool. That's not cool to say that. Nobody likes that. That makes people mad. And then there's just like, that's wrong. That's morally wrong to say that.
Yeah.
And all of those things, if you can take people to those places, which are all fear places, fear of intimacy, fear of the insane, which is a good, interesting kind of fear, you know, fear of the of truth or fiction, you know, and fear of castigation by the masses, you know, and fear of morality, of badness. If you can take people to those places and make them laugh, make them happy to be there, make them feel like this is okay, then suddenly they're there safely. And that's expanding where you're willing to go with your mind, you know, because this is a cage, you know, and it keeps you from seeing life. There's so much to life outside of what you're supposed to be thinking about. That's a narrow trip, man, you know? So either way, the trip life is short.
Right.
So if you could do short narrow, or you can do short broad. I mean, it's a little highfalutin, but it's how I feel about it.
No.
It's honestly how I feel about doing stand-up.
It makes sense hearing you say that and watching you.
And sometimes also it's just joke. It's just, I love the mechanics of jokes.
Yeah.
I love, like, I just got a new fucking joke.
Oh, there's
You know?
nothing better, dude. It's literally like pulling something out of your ass and getting
Yeah.
everybody to smell it and they like
Yes,
it.
and they like it. And now you're like, I have this.
Yeah.
I always think of it as going healed, you know, like in the Old West. Like once I have a set, like after I put this special out, I'll be fucking naked again. I'll have nothing.
Yeah.
But when you go back to the club and start getting, then you get a set together and you put the gun belt on. Like I can go anywhere now, you know. There is a power rush to it, I think, also, and it makes me feel proud of myself. Like I used to think, for some comedians, it's about love. It's about feeling accepted and loved. But for me, it's not that really, because I feel weird about that. I feel weird when I feel like when people stand up or they show a lot of adulation. I don't know what to do. Like it's not comfortable. It doesn't make sense. That doesn't feel human.
Oh, that's interesting. I can relate to that. Yeah.
What I feel that's the big thing up there is like I'm good at this. I'm nailing this. I'm making them happy. Everybody's happy. The show's good. That's just, I mean, that's very
So you're
satisfying.
making something good.
Yeah, it's very satisfying, you know, and I get better and better at it. I tried something I didn't think would work, you know. Like when I keep notes in the beginning of when I'm starting to build a set, there's always a section that's like long shots, you know,
Damn.
stuff that's never going to
You
work.
have long shots? Jesus.
I mean, the thing is, those long shots, like things that when I first did them, the bottom would feel like, oh, the crowd's like, no. And I'm like, this one's going to be hard. But every long shot I ever did ended up being the big bits.
Wow.
Those end up being the solid, killer, never fails, the memorable great bits.
Yeah.
The bits that I'd start with that were like, that's a slam dunk, that's a slam dunk. They start fading as the set gets more mature.
Because you don't love them as much.
No.
I mean, you like them,
Yeah, they're whores.
but they're not fucking wedding
They're
rings.
fucking whores.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're all right, but
Yeah.
you know, come over if I don't get anybody else.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Wow, dude. Yeah, I could totally understand that. I could see how, it's interesting that it's not about the affection. It's about creating something that makes you feel pride in yourself.
Yeah, it's pride in yourself. I mean, it's a little more self-love than it is love from them.
Yeah.
You know, I guess.
But that's okay. That's what we need. You know, I mean, we're all just trying to like find some way to, to feel okay. Yeah, I noticed I just started telling more jokes, like talking more about Jews and stuff in my set a little bit. Like, because I've always just been afraid. Because in LA, you can't even say the word.
Right.
It feels like you just feel scared.
Yeah,
but
I got
didn't.
scared just now when you said it.
Yeah, I just didn't have any Jewish people by us growing up. So to me, it's just like, but
Yeah.
my Jewish friends are like, dude, this fucking shit is great. It's like, but for so long, I was just so scared to even.
Well, here's why your Jewish friends like it, because they never hear it. And the thing is, the best way for people to get to know each other is to hear the voice of somebody who finds they're alienated from a group and talking about them. Like I remember years ago, Tracy Morgan, and I don't want to like get him in trouble, whatever.
He'll find a way.
Yeah, he did a joke about if his son was gay, and he said, "I'm gonna love him if my son is gay. I'm gonna love him like any father loves any son. But if he comes in the room and is like, 'Hey, Daddy,' I'm gonna stab that little in the throat." Oh, now I just caused 70 problems. But the bit was so brutal, and he was like an early version of like, you can't say that, and he had to go to like homeless gay centers and listen to people that were suffering, and he had to go on a big apology tour. Wow. and they shut him down, and I thought that was a shame because there's such an opportunity in that. He's telling you what it's like to be him where he's from, and by the way, he's describing a conflict. I'm going to love my son, but I don't know how I'm going to handle him acting effeminate because my community doesn't honor that, and they think that is weakness. And yet we're working and living in Hollywood where he's probably met gay people who he looks up to now. So that's why he's got a conflict now.
Totally.
So the way he dealt with the conflict is with comedy, by punching through it with a funny, brutal phrase. And there's so much to that. There's so much to be learned from that. And it'll help people on both sides. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's fun to watch people that don't know a group talk about that group.
Yeah, because that's how you learn.
You see
right,
yeah,
that's how you see
him, huh?
Yeah.
You go, yeah, man, that's how I see him. I mean, that's where I came from. It's exotic.
Yeah. That's the joy of everything. That's what gives me any fucking excitement in the world. Like I love thinking, like I grew up in a black, white environment. So I love thinking about race and how it interacts and just the surprises. And I love that kind of shit. It's what even made me want to get people to laugh sometimes was if you could get black and white people to laugh. It was like
that's
you
the
were
best feeling in the
fucking
world.
Elizabeth Taylor, dude. Like you were
that is the
doing
best feeling.
Good.
No, and you need more of both for it to work. Like if there's one black guy in the room, nobody white will laugh at a race joke.
Yeah.
But if there's 50 black people in the room, they'll laugh, and then everybody's laughing.
Yeah.
Because
you got to bring 49 other black people yourself.
You need it for when I worked at well, that's not a worthwhile story. But
at least you know that. See, that's the power of the experience right there.
Yeah. Let's cut bait with that one. That's not worth it. But I got to tell you something, because like last night, so you know the feeling when you do like I don't know what level you work at with stand up. Like what's a room you would work around here? Not like, do you do theaters and stuff?
Theaters, yeah.
Okay.
So, but the Comedy Store. But I mean, yeah, like I'll do a couple 1,000-seat venue probably.
Okay, so when you do a big show that's like a concert, right? It leaves me feeling this very dry feeling. Like there's adrenaline in my system, which is uncomfortable. But also now I'm alone. Like suddenly you're backstage, you're alone.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, they're all couples. I mean, some guys travel with an entourage, people that keep them warm. I don't do that.
Yeah.
So I have opening acts, but everybody's off in couples and groups having fun, and you're alone all of a sudden. So I'm always left with this fucking. And last night I felt it a lot because I had to put a lot of pressure on last night's show because I needed to clean up anything I didn't do right night one, and it's for the special, you know.
Right.
So I was cranky and tired and exhausted. And I went back to the hotel. I felt like shit. And I thought, well, I'm doing this guy's podcast. I don't really know your work.
Yeah.
Like,
We're
I
not
know
very familiar
who
with
you
each-
are. I just automatically respect that you're successful because I know how hard comedy is.
Mhm.
But I thought, I don't know, like I should hear his voice, you know, I should hear it. So I'm kind of ready for bed. I don't want to do anything, but I put my phone on iTunes. I found one of your albums.
Mhm.
It's like a picture of your face as a kid. And what the fuck is it called?
Oh yeah.
I want to say what it is because
What is this? Where Zach can help?
this is
Wait, Musket Fire?
Musket Fire. So I put on Musket Fire as I'm kind of getting ready for bed, and Jesus Christ, I mean, I was looking for something to, like, maybe I could pay him a compliment on something, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to be respectful
Yeah, thanks,
and know who he
yeah.
is. And I was laughing so fucking hard. I was just out. I don't know how long it's been since a comedian has done that to me. I was just laughing my ass off. It's also a really good album. Like,